What if your last words weren't just words? What if they were a prophecy, a curse you couldn't take back? Today, we're diving into 13 final statements that came true in the most chilling ways possible. Some poetic, some tragic, all of them impossible to ignore. And number 7, it'll make you question everything you thought you knew about coincidence. I'm your host at Ominus, where bad luck meets good stories. Let's begin. Number 13, James Dean, My Fun Days Are Over. September 30th, 1955. James Dean, Hollywood's golden rebel, is about to take his new Porsche Spider for a spin. His mechanic warns him. His friends beg him not to race it. Dean just smiles and says, "My fun days are over." Hours later, he's dead. Head-on collision, 24 years old. The car, totaled. But here's the eerie part. He didn't say the fun is over. He said, "My fun days are over." Present tense, like he already knew. Was it a joke that turned into a nightmare? Or did Dean sense something we couldn't? Picture yourself in that moment. Your friends warning you. That feeling in your gut telling you something's off, but you ignore it. You get in the car anyway. Dean's last words weren't dramatic. They were casual, almost throwaway. But that's what makes them terrifying, because sometimes the most prophetic statements sound the most ordinary. Either way, his fun days were over, permanently. Number 12, Emily Dickinson. I Must Go In, The Fog is Rising. May 15th, 1886. Emily Dickinson, one of America's greatest poets, is lying in her bed, weak, fading. Her family surrounds her. She looks at the window and whispers, "I must go in. The fog is rising." Then she's gone. Now most people think she was talking about actual fog. But Dickinson spent her life writing about death as a journey, a transition. The fog wasn't outside. It was inside her mind, a metaphor for the unknown. And she walked right into it, poetic until the very end, but also unsettling. Because she didn't say, "I'm dying," she said, "I must go in," like she had a choice, like she was ready. Like death was a door and she was simply stepping through. Were those words planned? Or did something beyond this world whisper them to her? Dickinson treated death like an old friend her entire life, and when it finally arrived, she greeted it with grace. But grace doesn't make it any less haunting. Number 11, Humphrey Bogart. I Should Never Have Switched from Scotch to Martinis. January 14th, 1957. Humphrey Bogart, the king of noir, is dying of cancer. His wife, Lauren Bacall, is by his side. He's in pain, exhausted, and then, with his signature dry wit, he mutters, "I should never have switched from Scotch to Martinis." And that's it. He's gone. Classic Bogart. Even on his deathbed, he's making jokes. But here's the thing, he wasn't wrong. Bogart was a heavy drinker his entire life. Cigarettes, alcohol, the Hollywood lifestyle. 2 packs a day, bourbon for breakfast. And in the end, it killed him. So was this just a joke? Or was it his way of admitting the truth? That the fun had a price, and he paid it. There's something almost admirable about going out with a one-liner. But there's also something tragic about knowing exactly what killed you, and making a joke about it anyway. Because what else can you do? Number 10, George Appel. Well, gentlemen, you are about to see a baked Appel. August 9th, 1928. George Appel is strapped into the electric chair in New York. Convicted of murder, no way out. The guards ask if he has any last words. Appel grins and says, "Well, gentlemen, you are about to see a baked Appel." A pun, a joke, in his final seconds. The switch flips, 2,000 volts. He's dead. Now most people would be terrified, begging for mercy. But Appel? He made a joke. Dark humor at its darkest. Was it courage? Denial? Or did he just refuse to give them the satisfaction of seeing him scared? Think about that. You're about to die. You know it. Everyone knows it. Do you scream? Do you pray? Or do you crack a joke? Appel chose the joke, and in doing so, he turned his execution into his final performance. Either way, his prediction came true. They did see a baked Appel, literally. Number 9, Frank Sinatra, I'm Losing. May 14th, 1998. Frank Sinatra, the voice of a generation, is in a hospital bed. Heart attack. His wife Barbara is holding his hand. He looks at her and whispers, "I'm losing." Minutes later, he's gone. Now Sinatra was a fighter his whole life. From poverty to stardom, from the mob to the Rat Pack, he never lost, except once, and he knew it. I'm Losing wasn't about a card game, it was about life, the one fight he couldn't win. And in that moment, old Blue Eyes saw the final curtain. Did he fight it, or did he accept it? We'll never know. But his last words, they came true. Because that's the thing about death, it's the ultimate loss. Number 8, Leonardo da Vinci, I Have Offended God and Mankind. May 2nd, 1519. Leonardo da Vinci, the ultimate Renaissance man, is dying in France. Painter, inventor, scientist, genius. And yet, in his final moments, he says, "I have offended God and mankind because my work did not reach the quality it should have." Think about that. The man who painted the Mona Lisa, who designed flying machines centuries before they existed, who dissected corpses to understand anatomy, and he thought he failed. Was it humility, regret, or did Leonardo see something we couldn't? A vision of what he could have been. Imagine spending your entire life creating, pushing boundaries, redefining art and science, and still feeling like you came up short. Either way, his words haunt us, because if Leonardo da Vinci thought he failed, what chance do the rest of us have? Maybe that's the curse of genius. You see the gap between what you did and what you could have done, and it's unbearable. Number 7, Karl Marx. Go on, get out. Last words are for fools who haven't said enough. March 14th, 1883. Karl Marx, the father of communism, is on his deathbed. His housekeeper asks if he has any final words. Marx snaps, "Go on, get out. Last words are for fools who haven't said enough." And then he dies. Ironic, right? The man who wrote thousands of pages about class struggle and revolution refused to say one more sentence. Was it arrogance, or was it the ultimate act of defiance? Marx spent his life arguing that words lead to action. And maybe, in the end, he realized he'd said everything he needed to say. But here's the twist. By refusing to give last words, he gave us the most memorable last words of all. Think about it. He called last words foolish, while giving us a last word about last words. That's Marx for you. Contradictory until the very end, and somehow perfectly fitting. Number 6, Albert Einstein. A sentence no one understood. April 18th, 1955. Albert Einstein, the greatest mind of the 20th century, is dying in a hospital. His nurse is by his side. Einstein mutters something in German, a full sentence, clear, deliberate, and then he's gone. The problem? The nurse didn't speak German, so whatever Einstein said is lost forever. Imagine that. The man who unlocked the secrets of the universe, who gave us EMC2, who redefined space and time, who explained gravity, light, and the nature of reality itself. And his final words? Gone. Was it a scientific breakthrough? A personal confession? A joke? A prayer? We'll never know. And that's what makes it so haunting. Because Einstein's last words came true in the worst way possible. They disappeared. Just like him. Just like all of us eventually will. Some mysteries can't be solved, even by Einstein. Number 5, Oscar Wilde. Either that wallpaper goes or I do. November 30th, 1900. Oscar Wilde, the master of wit, is dying in a cheap Paris hotel. Broke, exiled, forgotten. He looks at the hideous wallpaper in his room and says, "Either that wallpaper goes or I do." Hours later, he's dead. The wallpaper? Still there. Classic Wilde. Even in his darkest moment, he couldn't resist a joke. But think about it. This was a man who had everything. Fame, fortune, admiration. He dined with aristocrats. He filled theaters. And then he lost it all because of a scandal. Imprisoned, humiliated, destroyed. And in the end, his final battle wasn't with society. It was with wallpaper. Was it funny, tragic, both? Wilde's entire life was about turning pain into art, and his last words were no different. A joke with a tragic punchline. The wallpaper stayed. Wilde didn't. Number 4, Bob Marley. Money can't buy life. May 11th, 1981. Bob Marley, the king of reggae, is dying of cancer in Miami. His son Ziggy is by his side. Marley looks at him and says, "Money can't buy life." And then he's gone, at 36 years old. Now, Marley had money, fame, influence. He could afford the best doctors, the best treatment, the best care in the world. But cancer didn't care. And in that moment, Marley realized the ultimate truth. That no matter how rich you are, you can't buy more time. His words weren't just a statement. They were a warning, a reminder, that life is the one thing you can't purchase. And for a man who spent his life singing about freedom and truth, those final words were the most honest thing he ever said. Because money can buy comfort, it can buy distraction, but it can't buy another sunrise. It can't buy one more day with the people you love. Marley knew that, and he made sure his son knew it too. Number 3, Nostradamus. Tomorrow at sunrise, I shall no longer be here. July the 1st, 1566. Nostradamus, the prophet who predicted the future, is dying in France. His secretary asks him when they should meet again. Nostradamus says, "Tomorrow at sunrise, I shall no longer be here." The next morning, he's dead. Found in his bed, exactly as he predicted. Now, this is the man who supposedly predicted Hitler. 9/11, the Great Fire of London. Hundreds of prophecies. Some accurate, some not so much. But his final prediction, 100% correct. Down to the hour. Was it a coincidence? Or did Nostradamus see his own death the same way he claimed to see the future? Either way, his last words came true. And that's the most terrifying prophecy of all. Because if he could predict his own death, what else did he see? What else did he know? And why didn't he change it? Maybe that's the real curse of seeing the future. You can see it, but you can't stop it. Number 2, Julius Caesar. Et tu, Brute? March 15th, 44 BC. Julius Caesar, the most powerful man in Rome, is surrounded by senators. They have daggers. They're closing in. Caesar fights back. He's strong, experienced. But then he sees Brutus, his friend, his protege, among the assassins. And Caesar says, "Et tu, Brute? And you, Brutus?" Then he stops fighting, covers his face, and lets them kill him. 23 stab wounds. Now, historians debate if Caesar actually said this. But the legend stuck, because it's not just a question, it's a curse. A realization that betrayal comes from the people you trust most. Caesar had survived wars, battles, political enemies, but he couldn't survive his friend's betrayal. And in that moment, his words became a prophecy for all of us. That power, friendship, loyalty, none of it matters when the knives come out, and they always do, eventually, from someone you never expected. Number 1, Steve Jobs. Oh wow, oh wow, oh wow. October 5th, 2011. Steve Jobs, the man who changed the world with a phone, is dying at home. Pancreatic cancer, 8 years of fighting. His family surrounds him, his sister, his children, his wife. Jobs looks past them, at something no one else can see, and he whispers, "Oh wow, oh wow, oh wow." Then he's gone. What did he see? His sister said he was looking over their shoulders, at something beyond. Was it heaven? A hallucination? A final burst of neurons firing in his brain? The light people talk about? We'll never know. But here's why this is number 1. Steve Jobs spent his life creating the future. The iPhone, the Mac, the iPad, iTunes, Pixar. He was obsessed with what's next, with innovation, with pushing boundaries. And in his final moment, he saw it, whatever it was, and he was amazed. Oh wow, isn't fear. It's not regret, it's not pain. It's wonder, pure, childlike wonder. And maybe, just maybe, Jobs discovered something even he couldn't invent. The answer to the ultimate question. What comes next? What's on the other side? And whatever it was, it blew his mind one last time. So there you have it. 13 last words that came true in ways no one expected. Some tragic, some poetic, some impossible to explain. Which one hit you the hardest? I'd genuinely love to know what you're thinking right now. Drop your thoughts below. And hey, if this kind of content is your thing, stick around. We've got more stories lined up that'll keep you up at night. Next time, we're exploring 13 people with the worst bad luck you won't believe. Trust me, you'll want to hear those stories. Until then, choose your last words carefully. You never know when they might come true. I'm out.